Wow. Yeah. Congratulations, you're the guinea pig. Oop. I don't know. All right. Well, let's at least get started, I guess. Let me see if the email came through. No, good enough though. Yeah, there it is. All right. Who put together a rule or guide for the formation of a standardized monasticism? This was the individual who put together a rule, as it was called in Latin, or a guide for standardized monasticism. Oh, that's good. Yeah, Benedict of Nursia. Speaking of, yeah. What great pope was first to officially promote monasticism, tried to create a more organized church in the Western Empire? Yes. Or Pope Gregory the Great. All right. Another thing here with monasteries. Um, what was one of the major tasks of the monks, examples of which we have to this very day? Or something that kept them busy? We still have examples of this work today. Or we still have pieces of it. Yeah, copying manuscripts. A lot of times in other class, there'll be students answer like, "Oh, well, they prayed all the time." It's like, yeah, but we don't have that physically. Yeah, it was the manuscripts. All right, on to bishops. What's that? That's right. Yeah, they hated it. Do do. Bishops were important in the everyday life of medieval people. What was the name of a bishop's area of jurisdiction? So what was the name that a bishop? What was the name of an area that a bishop's supposed to look after? Yeah, diocese. If I can hit the right ones. Like I said, if we lived in the Northeast, that'd be pretty common knowledge because that's just what they call like districts in certain areas. Let's see. We also have saints as intermediaries between common man and Christ. What was a term for the bones or possessions of the saints which could be used to contact them? There's that paperclip again. I'll find it later. Yep, relics. Hmm? Oh, yeah. I can see that. Yeah, there was a specific saint who was martyred, and like his whole thing is he got absolutely raped by arrows. So like all the depictions of him are him just like standing, just full of arrows, and because they're always like very stoic. He looks like he's just not bothered. He's just hanging out, and there's arrows all in him. Yeah. Yes. Very, very, very early acupuncture, at least for Europe. Um. All right. So that's that real quick. Islam. Um. mm, What was the name of the merchant from Mecca who became the founder of Islam? Muhammad. Yeah, you never hear it. I believe so. Yeah. Let's see. Put that over here now. What is the name of the holy book of Islam? Yes. Or let's see how do I have it? You are. So either one works. All right. On to. Oh wait, sorry. One more for this. what is the term for outlawing pictures of Christ slash God or other biblical figures as they were seen as idols? Mm-hmm. Iconoclasm. All right. Let's find this real quick. All right. Bum, 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 bum. So the Carolingians. What was it? What was the name of the powerful Carolingian who was able to rule without a Merovingian figurehead? He was also famous for turning back the Muslim advance into France. I mean, they like to say into Europe, but I mean Spain's Europe. Not Pepin. It was Pepin's father. Well, his father was Pepin and his son was Pepin. So it's not Charlemagne. He's later. This was Charlemagne's grandfather. Yes. Charles the Hammer Martel. Bless you. We have the son of Martel, who, with papal authority, overthrew the do-nothing Merovingian line and established the Carolingian line as legitimate rulers. What's that? No, who was the guy that was Harold's son and established the Carolingian line? Yes. Which there's two Pepins. So which Pepin is this? Yes. You don't actually need to worry about the other Pepin for the test, but for the sake of knowing which one, Pepin is short. Okay, on to the first Holy Roman Emperor. That's just Charlemagne. Like that's not even a question. It's just, hey, this was the guy. So, Charlemagne. Um, damn it, that was a question. Name of the guy who led the Frankish kingdom to new heights, expanded territories, making tribes Christian. His name means Charles the Great. So that's Charlemagne. Yeah, Charlemagne is Charles the Great. let's see. Let's just add this under here. When was he crowned as emperor of a new Holy Roman Empire? This is one of the like 2 dates you guys need to know. When was Charlemagne crowned emperor of a new Holy Roman Empire? Yes. Do you remember the day specifically, by chance? It's a very specific day. Yes. Sorry. I mean, he apparently looks a lot like modern day Ian McClellan. Ian McClellan? No, I'm thinking the wrong guy. I don't know. Sort of. So, let's see. Yeah. What was the name of the new kind of standardized writing, which emphasized space between letters to maximize legibility? This is a new form of writing created at this time. Yeah. Or Caroline Minuscule, as the book puts it. Which is also just, and that's just another version of Charlemagne. Alright. Do I have... Oh, no, that's down here. Okay. What was the name of the treaty that split the Carolingian kingdom into 3 parts, essentially creating France and Germany as we know them today? This was his sons fought each other and then eventually just split up Europe. Yes. Treaty of Also, what was the name of the groups of marauders that sailed down from Scandinavia to take advantage of the weakening Carolingian kingdoms? Marauders from Scandinavia. Yes. versus the Vikings. Yeah, which we'll get to. It is the right side of go. But I have like three separate. Yeah. All right. So organizational stuff. This is a term for the system where a noble was given land by a king, but also specifically the peasants who worked and lived on the land. This was the term that tied the peasants to their lords. Hello. That's fine, yeah. That's all right. No problem. I'm going to be here Wednesday and Friday, so whichever was easier for you. 8:30 to 10:30. Yep. 8:30 to 10:30. Mm-hmm. Yes. No problem. Hmm? Right. This is the system that tied the well, where a noble was given a tract of land, but more specifically, it ties the peasants to the noble. And like you're on the right track, but not quite. I mean, it is a fief, but it's the type of system that. No, that was the whole everything. And this is specifically between the lord, or I guess the person in charge of the land and the peasants that are working that land. Because there's two terms that are similar, but this one's that specifically. You're close. That's the other one. It's at the end of chapter whatever 6, 7. Because technically we talk about it at the end, and then the next chapter talks about vassalage. So it's the chapter before. That's England. Yeah, be the end of chapter 7. I think. Yeah, because that's vassalage, so it's before that. Oh, it's pre. It's pre Verdun. I've just got it thematically instead of chronologically. In the notes, it's before we talk about the Treaty of Verdun. memorialism, because focuses it focuses on the manner of yeah. And then we have, after memorialism, um, the system that the system in which a man would swear military allegiance to a more powerful ruler in exchange for said land. So the term that tied the lord to the king. You already said it earlier, Cami. Vassalage. Yeah. That one's the first part of chapter 8. All right. I guess this would also be here, so I might as well put it. What was the name of the largely earthen castle that could be easily constructed on a hill? This was the type of castle that you could just throw together pretty quick. Yes, the Motte-and-Bailey. Oops. Motte-and-Bailey Castle. Yeah, because the Motte was the upper part, and the Bailey was the where the I was gonna say shops, but that's not quite right. The marketplace would be. Yeah, regular folks. All right. On to a couple of other kings, or at least rulers. After the waning of the Carolingian line, which great king stopped the threat of the Magyars and tried to stop the corruption of the church by putting it under government control? The Magyars. That was Magyar. Magyar. Those largely remembered for his attempt at church reform. Yes. Otto the Great. Oops. Great. All right. England also had a great Anglo-Saxon king. Managed to push the Danes out of his territory of Wessex and more tightly controlled the lands. What was the name of this Anglo-Saxon king? Pushed the Danes out of his territory. He fought the Danes for pretty much his whole reign. great. All right, back to church policies. What was the name of the monastery that began a sweeping church reform by making monasteries beholden only to the Pope rather than local leaders? Local leaders. The, basically, it's undoing what Otto did, or they're undoing what Otto did, where they're making the church tied more directly to the Pope rather than the empire. Yes. Cluny, I'm not actually sure the pronunciation. Um, yeah. Monastery of Cluny. Wait, do I have? I guess we just go to the next one then. Do I have anything on here about me? I don't think I do actually. This has been edited slightly. What's the name of the powerful pope who, through the investiture controversy, created an imperial papacy? This was the pope that created the imperial papacy due to various things. Yes. You're right. Imperial. 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 And then papacy is just Papacy. Or actually, yeah, the whole thing's right here. Meanwhile, yeah, that works. Who are the powerful people who reinvigorated the Islamic world and set it against the weakening Byzantine Empire? Oh, shoot. Ah, sorry. Um, I'm, I'm blanking here. Sorry. Against the Byzantines. This was a group that reinvigorated the Islamic world and fought against the Byzantines. Not the individual, the group. Uh, that might have been another name for them. That's not what I've got. They're the Seljuk Turks. Okay. Yeah, Yeah, he's on Wikipedia. um, yeah, I'm just trying to make it thematic as opposed to chronological because some of the stuff works together really well, but there's stuff in between. So for the sake of the study guide, I was trying to make it easier. I'm pretty sure I put up the online version of the. Yeah, see? Uh, okay. Let's see, that was Clooney. A lot of stuff going on in England. Let me see, make sure we've got all of that. Okay. What was the name of the Danish king who ruled England until 1035? This was at the start of all the stuff in England. 1035. Danish king. Yes. I'm assuming it's Canute. I don't know. I think it's Canute. I think I remember hearing that. He's not the great in my notes, so the English call him crazy. So what are you gonna do? Speaking of the English, what was the name of the man who invaded and conquered England in 1066? This was the big thing. Yes. Remember what he was also called? He had another moniker. Or I guess descriptor would be the better. No, he fought Harold Hardrada. Yes. William the Conqueror was known as William something else. That's a different guy. This is still William. I don't think it was in the notes because it's not for polite company. Yes. It is William the Bastard. Yeah, invaded England 1066. Oh, we have one more for England. The name of the famous book, which we still have today, that that William used to account for everything in his new kingdom. It was a tax book basically. After William took over England. Or an accounting book might be the better term. Yes. Domesday. Well, for the English, it's like, oh, they're taxing our stuff. Yeah, it's like you mean like the guys before him, were taxing you? It's like you're just pissed because he's French. That's all it is. It's exactly what it is. All right. Um. Let's see. The Crus. Yeah. No. Absolutely. Literally, we will see the. Well, I'm assuming I will live that long. See the year that France and England have been pissed at each other for literally 1,000 years. Um, all right, let's see. These are some terms. Oh, these are just yeah, exactly. So they've got reason. The term for people who will go on a long journey to sacred sites in order to receive healing or as a spiritual journey. So who are the people that went on trips to sacred sites? Or at least for religious reasons. Yes. So they were called pilgrims. Speaking of terms for people by the church, what was the term given to anyone who disagreed with church doctrine? Yes. I mean, they were Catholic then, yeah. Technically, because you're just. I don't know. Right. Here's another fun medieval term. Was the term for giving the title and land to only the eldest male heir rather than splitting it among everybody. It's a Latin term, if that helps at all. Yes. Primogenitor. Again, it's just the eldest male. All right, the First Crusade happened. By 1099, the First Crusade ended with the capture of what city? What city did they capture at the end of the First Crusade? It's an important one, obviously. Yes. Yes. Yep. That was the whole point. And once they got there, they're like, okay, well, we're not gonna like expand any further. We got what we came for, and that's it. Yeah. All right. On to more of the Gothic High Middle Ages. Do I have? Oh, here we go. Oh no, that's just all right there. Never mind. So I wasn't getting ahead of myself. Bum 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 bum. What kind of schools replaced monasteries as the main centers of learning in the Gothic High Middle Ages? So this was the replacement for monasteries in terms of education. cathedral schools. All right. What was the name of the first cathedral under Abbot Suger that incorporated designs that became synonymous with Gothic architecture? So this was the beginning of Gothic architecture, essentially. It was run by Abbot Suger, or Suger, because it's French. Was this particular cathedral's name? It was run by Abbot Suger, Suger. Yes. Saint Denis or Denis, again, French, I don't know. Meanwhile, what was the name of the Muslim leader who reorganized the Islamic world and retook Jerusalem? Yes, Saladin. I think he was scary, from what I know of Saladin. Right. What was the name of the document signed by English King John at Runnymede in 1215 that stated the powers of the king and the rights of nobles and commoners? So this was the big important document in England. Yes. That's just the big one, the main one. The Magna Carta or Great Charter, to translate into modern English. The name of associations of craftsmen set up in medieval towns to control production. Yes. Which is an old word from that time that has made it to today, at least to some degree. Yeah. Although there are still like craftsman guilds. Although it's more like it's like making sure you have the proper certificate that you're doing that you can do the job that you're saying you can do. You don't go into somebody's house and just like tear out the pipes. Like, all right, everything's fine. Everything is fine. All right. Oh, that's that. Cool. Oh, is there? Okay, now we're gonna put this up here real quick. Oh no, there's important individuals. Never mind. I'm getting ahead of myself. Um, education continued to increase. Cathedral schools couldn't keep up. So, what was the new institution that brought groups of students and masters together? Yes, the start of the universities. All right. This guy's from a little bit earlier, but I didn't have anywhere to really put him. So, um, this was the much beloved English king, captured people's imaginations with his swashbuckling crusader ways, uh, but also spent less than 6 months total in England, and also got captured on the way back from the Crusades. This was the beloved English king who was a crusader, and that was about all he was able to do for England. He's always seen as the great hero in all the old storybooks. Oh, yeah, I was gonna say. I think it might be Richard the First, but specifically Richard the Lionheart. All right. Some more education stuff. What particular institution specialized in the study of civil law as taken from Roman writings? Civil law. Running towns and stuff. Not Oxford. No, it's not in England. Uh, I was still on chapter 8. We should still be in chapter 9. Yeah, we're not done with chapter 9 yet. This is in the education section. This was the institution that specialized in the study of civil law because of some Roman writings. Specifically, they found the Corpus of Civil Law that Justinian wrote back in the 800s. It's French, so you only have to pronounce part of it. Boulogne. And one more guy. Well, no, actually, two more guys. Sorry. Um, this was the king that gave Boulogne guild-like status, which offered it certain rights and protections. Yes, Frederick Barbarossa. He of the red beard. That's all right. They're dead. They can't say anything about him. Pretty sure they're dead. This guy specifically drowned. I feel like they probably just want to hunt us for speaking English the way we do. All right, one more guy for the education section. He was known as the dumb ox, synthesized thought in, I don't have the aforementioned movement. Thought and scholasticism with Christian faith, and is famous for writing the Summa Theologica. Summa Theologica, Theologica, Theologica. It's Latin. Yes. Thomas Aquinas. I did hit that. Aquinas. You'd think he founded Providence College the way they talked about him when I was up there. Right. What was the term for the radiant style of architecture that came to dominate the late Gothic age? Emphasize color and light over sheer height. I think it's French for radiant, or at least it's Old French for radiant. Yes. Rayonnant, I believe is. Yeah. All right, on to the late Middle Ages. Then we'll be done. Do. The papacy moved to Avignon. What holy order established after the First Crusade was dissolved and had its leaders executed so that King Philip IV of France wouldn't have to pay the debts he owed? So this was a holy order established after the First Crusade and lent money to a lot of people and ended up killed for it. They would lend money to like kings and stuff, and the king didn't feel like paying them back, so now they're all dead. Yes, the Knights Templar. The issue with the Pope and all that's just the Avignon papacy, so don't worry about that. All right. On to the 100 Years' War. What two countries fought in the 100 Years' War? Perhaps a better question will be, what two countries would think it'd be a great idea to fight for 100 years? Yes. France and technically England. It wasn't Britain yet. I'm not going to be that pedantic on the test. That's just my brain. Meanwhile, what technological advantage won the day at the Battle of Crécy? What did the English have that beat the brakes off the French technologically? Crecy, Crecy. Yes, the English had longbows. The Battle of Crecy. Crecy. Also, like the French just didn't know how to do military tactics in the slightest. That also didn't help. They just charge at each other. Yeah. Well, that's, you know, yeah. It's because they'd burn the fields and then people would starve for the next, like, 2 years. Speaking of, major people. This guy. What was the nickname for Edward, Prince of Wales, who managed to capture the enemy king at the Battle of Poitiers? This is the English prince. What was his nickname? Yes. Yeah, just the Black Prince. Like I said, we're not actually sure why. Maybe it was his armor or his heraldry or whatever, but that's what he was. That's what he was called. All right. Let's take a step back and talk about everything being horrible. What was the first region of Europe to be hit by the Black Death in 1347? What part of Europe got the plague first? Hmm? Well, Italy. But yeah, close enough. I say as a Sicilian kicks the door down and shoots me in the face. All right. So a bit more of the Hundred Years' War, because it tended to stick around. Um, Towards the end of the Hundred Years' War, who was the young woman who lifted the siege of Orleans, got the Dauphin Charles crowned before being captured while trying to take Paris? Yes. Her ring, yes. Yep, the English had it, and a private collector just gave it back to France. There's another one, actually. Literally the next question. Well, actually, not literally the next question. The question after that. Following the Battle of Bosworth Field at the end of the War of the Roses, who came out on top began his own dynasty by combining the House of Lancaster and the House of York. So who was the ruler after the War of the Roses? House of Lancaster. Uh, yes. Also, just Henry Tudor. Henry Tudor or Henry VII. It's multiple choice, so Tudor is the one that's on there. All right, we're almost done. Two more. Who was the heir to Castile became the powerful queen of a unified Spain upon marrying Ferdinand, heir to Sicily and Aragon. Castile. Castille. Or one L. I don't know. Maybe two L's. I've got one L in the test. I might have spelled it wrong. She was heir to Castile, became a powerful queen of a unified Spain after marrying Ferdinand. Yes, Isabella. This is the same Isabella that agreed to let Christopher Columbus nearly get his boys killed going across the ocean. No, actually, there was a whole thing with that where he had to sneak his way in because her uncle, who was technically also ruling Castile, didn't want them to be married. So Ferdinand snuck in as a ox cart driver with a fake papal document to make sure they could get married. Yeah, so it was a whole thing. So I'm pretty sure he wanted to get married, or at least felt like the union was important politically. Okay, this is the other date you guys need to know, and by date I mean just year, because it was a long process. What year did Constantinople fall, or / be taken by the Ottoman Turks, which is often considered the end of the Middle Ages? This is the end of Constantinople and the end of the Middle Ages. 1453. The siege happened in April, but it wasn't until May that Constantinople actually fell, so there isn't a specific date, so don't worry about that. And that's it. Then there's obviously extra credit at the end and options within the short answer. But other than that, like I said, for you online folks, I'm going to put this up tomorrow online. Please get it done before next week, or you're not going to get a good grade. And for y'all, I'm going to be here tomorrow. Not tomorrow. Wednesday. I'm not going to be here tomorrow. Wednesday and Friday, 8:30 to 10:30, so whichever date works best for y'all. Again, technically ours is next Monday, but if we can go ahead and knock it out this week, it'd be great. So I can spend next Monday getting the last of the online grades that people are sending in done. And other than that, any questions from you guys?
I had a question.
Yes.
Are any of the extra credit ones fun questions?
Oh, it depends on your definition of fun. But let me see.
Because I saw a YouTube short the day before for Clip of Hercules that was listed out on there.
Yep, that's all it takes. I consider two of them fun.
Okay.
Or at least one for sure. If you remember to watch some of the videos that I showed. Because hoo boy, that was the thing. Yeah, that's it. So I'll see y'all on Wednesday or Friday, whichever's best for you. I can roll that back up. You can just ask me.